Hey there, everybody. Phil Conway hopping on here. This is day four of spring cleaning for your mind. And part of the 21-day challenge is to daily share some of the principles and some stories about how we spring clean for our mind. So this way we can find more calmness, more peace of mind. What would it be like to have always control of the peace of mind that you have? And you can be resilient, and no matter what the external situation is, you don't have to let that be what's affecting you. You can obviously be aware of what's happening, and you can start to make more decisions and choose how you want to react. I mean, respond. I said react, but the difference between reaction and responding is that reaction is, oh, it's just very quickly, just like a knee-jerk reflex, and it's not really the best thing to do. It's really allowing the emotions to control you instead of you controlling yourself and your emotions. When we respond, the distinction of a response is that you get to think. I'll share one of the principles regarding accurate thinking a little bit later, but the idea is that you always want to be playing the game by responding rather than reacting. So today, this is the fourth principle, and we'll call that going the extra mile. So as Napoleon Hill writes, what is it that you can do that do just that little extra? Do you ever think of that point where, perhaps you were enjoying your restaurant, say, and they came over and they gave you a free drink, or they gave you maybe a free dessert or something like that. The people at the restaurant were going that extra mile to serve you. And what is it that you can do? It doesn't matter. You could be an employee. How do you give more to the place where you work than what you are paid? And how, as an individual, if you're an entrepreneur or solopreneur, how is it that you can deliver more than cash in meaningful value? Go the extra mile is taking the steps that, hey, I really want to leave this person better. Even if you're a coach or consultant and somebody was not a paid client, how do you serve those people? And by serving them, they're going to be better off. You're delivering more. Yet even when you're paid, whether someone pays you at a basic level or they pay you at a premium level, to deliver more and meaningful value to the person who hired you, not because of what we think is more meaning, but because from the perspective of the person they could value. How do you go more and do it very graciously because you really want to leave them better? One of the other things too that the going the extra mile brings in is that besides going for delivering more in value than what you paid, there's a law of compensation that comes into play here too. And the law of compensation would say that nobody ever can live a life worthwhile when there's no free lunch. You can't be looking to expect to have a free lunch, which means nothing's going to be given to you. It's not just going to be given to you because you want them to give it to you. Think of that. And how do you, as a customer, how do you go the extra mile, making that business look much better than they are? How do you find a way to have that salesperson be a better salesperson when you give of yourself to that person? See, it's a two-way street. It's not a one-way street. It's because we're interacting with humans that we keep that human interaction going strong. And then the law of compensation just would say, besides the idea that we wouldn't permit anything living to something for nothing, and it doesn't allow for labor to go unrewarded. So in other words, where you do labor, that's never unrewarded either. the business owner will pay you more very willingly, not because you asked for it, but because it's the right thing to do. It's the thing that happens naturally. And here's the tricky part. This is where it gets a little bit weird, is that it may not directly come from that direct interaction. It could come from another client or another person, another source further down the line. So you also find that, Mother Nature always has abundance. You never have to worry about, is there going to be enough oxygen for me to take my next breath? Abundance is there, and we can always choose to have the mindset of abundance or scarcity. Both are a matter of attitude and choice. Which way are we looking, at what are we expecting? So why not choose abundance and know that that free flow of the energy within abundance is going to be delivered. And that's why going the extra mile. And the other part of the law of compensation, we talk about basically there's three things. And one is the need for what you do. Two is your ability to do it. And three, the difficulty there is in replacing you. So when you talk about your product, your merchandise, your service, whatever it happens to be, as an employee to the company you work for, or to a business for the customers it has. So what is the relevance of your skills? What is the relevance of what you offer compared to the person who's going to engage, that's going to want your product or service? And then the second, when it comes to skills, are you growing? Are you studying and learning? How do you constantly study every day, taking 30 minutes, maybe 60 minutes, once, twice, maybe even 3 times a day, and keep studying the craft, the skills that are your strengths, so that we have zero limits, and those skills and those strengths have also zero limits. It can always be getting better. Wouldn't you agree, no matter what, that we could always do better? So why would so many people stop studying and stop trying to learn? When you can always be better, you can go that extra mile. And the idea that my mentor, Bob Proctor, he read Think and Grow Rich for 61 years every day, even up to the day he died. So many people, they battle this continuing education, or they think they learned everything they need to. There's that book, I think I learned everything I know in kindergarten. Kind of a humorous take on, we can always be better. We can always serve better. And you got to keep on going your skills. One of the big things that happens is probably, maybe more than 75 billion, where there used to be about 20 or 30 billion 6 years ago. That's now getting close to about 75 billion that's spent on training every day. And not necessarily are people getting better. They're not doing more than they can do. They're making through antagonism, people are holding back. Well, it's time to stop that antagonistic approach and go the extra mile. And then when it comes to the difficulty in replacing you, that's the third part of our compensation, bringing it back to the first, the need or relevance of what you do, your ability to do it. So that's the only area we have control in, to always be getting better. Even your age, you can keep on getting better into your 60s and 70s. And the best thing any company could do is to hire someone who's 50, 60, 70, because the insights that they've gotten, the experience, is far surpassed anyone who would be of a younger age, because they had life experience and they've seen the different rhythms and cycles of life, and when they're getting better. If they stop getting better, well, that's another story altogether. However, if you keep on getting better, there'll always be a value to provide. There'll always be somebody who wants you in their team. And there will be, certainly, no one is indispensable. Yet there are some people who it's quite difficult to replace. So think about it. Go the extra mile, continue improving your skills, And this has been day 4 in spring cleaning for your mind with me, Phil Conway. And hop on for this 21-day challenge where I'm sharing bits of information with you. And tomorrow will be number 5. Have a great weekend.